I got the WWE scripts. Alright, no, I'm just messing with you guys, but there were 5 times when I successfully predicted major WWE storylines months and sometimes even years in advance, and I thought it would be a fun time to take a look at these videos in a compilation form. The first one is about Seth Rollins dethroning Roman Reigns. While he didn't technically beat him for the belts, I did predict that Rollins needed to destroy the monster that he created, and you can even make the argument that this chair shot was the most important piece to ending Roman's title reign. This is my video from 2022 when his reign was at 1,000 days. It's been over 1,000 days since Roman Reigns has been pinned. He's held the Universal Championship for 741 days, and he's been the undisputed WWE Universal Champion for nearly 200 days. Roman Reigns has unquestionably entered into God mode. The Tribal Chief has wrecked everyone in his path, starting with The Fiend and Braun Strowman. Then there was his cousin Jey Uso, and we discovered that nobody is safe from this monster, including his very own bloodline. Kevin Owens tried to put an end early into his run, but failed miserably, and the man was literally run over. Roman Reigns was ready to kill KO in order to retain his title. Daniel Bryan had one of the better efforts, but it didn't end too well for him. Roman Reigns beat him so bad that it sent him to the minor leagues. The Rated R Superstar wished that he stayed retired because Edge was defeated twice by Roman Reigns, and one of the times was the ultimate sign of disrespect. I've never seen a man dominate 2 people to the point where he stacked them onto each other for the victory. Cesaro was finally given a world championship opportunity only to be humbled. Roman Reigns was forced to show him that there was a reason he was never in the main event scene. Rey Mysterio thought he had a chance and thought wrong. John Cena made his grand return with one goal in mind: to end the championship run and save WWE, but he couldn't even get the job done. John Cena lost and hasn't had a match since. Finn Balor was next in line, and Roman Reigns killed the demon. Sami Zayn's attempt was just laughable. The Tribal Chief put Goldberg to sleep. Matt Riddle put up a good fight, but he didn't walk out as champion. And Brock Lesnar was buried, quite literally putting a nail on the coffin of that long-time rivalry. Drew McIntyre was the closest to dethroning him, and just when you thought he was going to do it, he fell short in front of 60,000 people rooting for him. Roman Reigns has clearly been unstoppable. He's destroyed pretty much the entire roster, and this got a lot of people asking, who's going to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns?
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
The name that seems to pop up the most to answer that question is Cody Rhodes. The American Nightmare came back to WWE with one goal in mind: to win the WWE Championship for his father. The only person standing in his way is Roman Reigns. Therefore, when he recovers from surgery, fans are hoping to see a return and a victory at the Royal Rumble. Cody winning the 30-man Battle Royal would just be the beginning of this journey. It would end with him dethroning the undisputed WWE Universal Champion in the main event of WrestleMania in front of 70,000-80,000 screaming fans. While I love that idea and I'm not against it, and I would actually be happy to see it play out, I don't think he's the best person. I don't think he's the best option to take down Roman Reigns. I think there's a stronger story out there for somebody else. So you're probably wondering, who is it? Should WWE create a new star with Montez Ford, somebody that can transcend into the main event scene with his victory? No, I don't think so. How about Logan Paul? With his popularity, he can become the WWE's next big thing. Nah, not Logan Paul. What about Braun Breaker? He's got all the potential in the world, but I don't think he's ready just yet. How about Randy Orton, who's a legend that's got a decade left in the tank? As much as I would love to see it, it's not him either. Alright, here's the last choice, The Rock. No, unfortunately, it's not Dwayne Johnson either. It's none of those men. Instead, it's a man who has unfinished business with Roman Reigns. A man that always seems to have his number. A man that I believe Roman Reigns genuinely fears. A man who knows him best because they came into the business together as brothers.
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
And that man is none other than Seth freaking Rollins. You see, these two go way back to a decade ago. The story started with Rollins and Reigns, and so it's only fitting that it ends with them as well. I really believe that he is going to be the one to dethrone the undisputed champion. It only makes sense when you take a step back and look at all of the history that's been laid out. It all began in 2012. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns were just two aspiring young athletes who wanted nothing more to make a name for themselves in the WWE. With the help of Dean Ambrose, they went beyond that and they took over the company and became one of the greatest factions in WWE history. The three rookies took WWE by storm, winning multiple championships, becoming the most powerful force. Legitimately, they were unstoppable. The only thing that got in their way was Seth Rollins' ego. The architect was hungry for more. He wanted to become number one, and that could not happen with his brothers in the way. So, Seth Rollins did the only thing he could think of, and he betrayed them, stabbing them in the back with a number of chair shots. This moment skyrocketed him into success. Seth Rollins became the number one guy at the expense of Roman Reigns. It started with the betrayal. It continued at WrestleMania 31 when Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank contract to pin and defeat Roman Reigns, winning the WWE Championship, stealing that moment from him. The fans even eventually turned on Reigns, who was the good guy, while rooting for the villain. After coming back from his injury, Seth Rollins targeted Roman Reigns, hitting him with a pedigree. To make the situation worse, he even defeated him at the next pay-per-view to take away his championship. Seth Rollins continuously defeated Roman Reigns. He took his championships away, and he even stole the fans. Seth Rollins has always had his number. Believe it or not, the first 8 years of Roman's career was absolutely hindered by Rollins. It was time for Reigns to make a drastic change, or else he would have been the biggest failed project in wrestling history.
Feed them in and watch them all get slaughtered because this is my island.
Roman Reigns did indeed make that change, turning himself from a failure to one of the GOATs of this business. It was actually with the help of Seth Rollins, and I don't think he even knows just how much he played a part in this transformation. Roman Reigns studied every meticulous move made by Seth Rollins in 2014 and implemented it into this run. Step 1, join the dark side. Nice guys finish last, so you need to become the villain. Seth Rollins became an egotistical maniac, and Roman Reigns followed and won't stop until everyone acknowledges him. Step 2, wreck everyone and leave. If you're going to become number one, you've got to take down everyone in your path, including family. Seth Rollins did it to his brothers, while Roman Reigns abused his cousins. Step 3, find a wise man. If you're going to be successful, you're going to need a mentor, and Seth Rollins had Triple H, while Roman Reigns had his special counsel, Paul Heyman. Step 4, keep your hands clean. You don't waste your time or energy doing any dirty work. You build a team to do it for you. Seth Rollins had the authority, and Roman Reigns built the bloodline. Step 5, secure the gold. To prove you're the best, you're going to need to have all the gold around your waist. Seth Rollins had the United States Championship and the WWE title, while Roman Reigns is the undisputed champion. The Tribal Chief has done a wonderful job at emulating the architect. However, Seth Rollins is still the mastermind behind the master plan, and because of this, there's a slither of doubt and fear in the mind of Roman Reigns that he can't beat this man. To make things even more intimidating for the head of the table, Seth Rollins knows him better than anybody else on the roster, which means he knows his every weakness. The only other person who knows just as much is in a different company. Roman Reigns fears Seth Rollins can beat him, and if you need any proof about it, look no further than the match at the Royal Rumble where he disqualified himself, taking a technical loss to protect his title reign. There was doubt, there was fear that he was going to lose and fail against the man that has beaten him time and time again in every important match. Not only that, but I think it's deeper than just losing his title reign. It's having his ego suffer from the source of all his trauma.
But I'll never forgive you for what you did to us. I hate you.
The Shield betrayal, the heist at WrestleMania 31, the pedigree at Extreme Rules in 2016, the championship loss at Money in the Bank, stealing the fans away from Roman Reigns, the hate growing, Roman Reigns' career continuing to dwindle. All of that happened because of Seth Rollins, and I think it's very clear that Roman Reigns has a lot of trauma because of it, and Seth Rollins is the Frankenstein of this monster that we see today. And Roman Reigns has not been able to let go of that trauma, and he's despised Seth Rollins for ruining his career.
He deserves it! He deserves it!
Roman Reigns believes that Seth Rollins deserves this pain because this is Roman Reigns unloading all of that pain from his trauma that occurred over the last 10 years onto Seth. This is emotional damage turning into a physical assault. If you've been wondering how long he's held onto that trauma, just take a look at that tight grip. The tightness supply shows just how hard it's been for him to let go of all these moments. So Roman Reigns believes this is what Seth Rollins deserves. The man is so broken that he admitted that Seth Rollins took a piece of him and he has not been the same since, which is why he turned into the man he is today. So you ask the question, who should dethrone Roman Reigns? But I think you should be asking the question, who can actually defeat him? And the answer to that is Seth freaking Rollins. There isn't anybody else that can take him down. He's the only person who can beat him because he's the one who created him. It is his duty, his responsibility to dethrone Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins has got to take a look in the mirror and take some accountability. His actions have consequences, and one of those consequences is ruining a man's life, unfortunately making him suffer to the point where he loses his mind. Seth Rollins needs to right this wrong. With the 10-year anniversary of the Shield coming up at Survivor Series, that would be the perfect moments for Rollins to dethrone him. As the match comes to a close, prior to hitting him with a final curb stomp, Seth Rollins should shed a tear and apologize for everything that he's done before the 1, 2, 3. And then hopefully Roman Reigns will be free of his demons. Seth Rollins did indeed destroy that monster by taking this chair shot at WrestleMania 40. Although he didn't win the belt, he did play a huge role in dethroning the Tribal Chief. Speaking of Roman and Seth, it looks like we're getting that dream match at Mania with CM Punk in the mix after the events that occurred at the Royal Rumble. I predicted the triple threat of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk back in December of 2024. It looked like WrestleMania 41's main events were locked in, with Cody Rhodes defending his WWE Championship against The Rock. Then we're probably getting Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa to determine the real Tribal Chief. And then there's the postponed CM Punk and Seth Rollins match that was supposed to happen last year. That seemed to be the plan until this happened. CM Punk teaming up with Roman Reigns at War Games changed everything. It ruined all of the WWE's plans. They broke the WWE, and I think it's time to pivot. The WWE just found their next big-time rivalry that's gonna make them a lot of money. The clips of CM Punk and Roman Reigns from Survivor Series War Games generated a total of 207 million views on Instagram. This one video alone almost has 115 million views. It's very clear that this is what the WWE fans want to see. There's a few reasons why the storyline between these two produced so much interest. First things first, they are the two biggest stars in the business. Roman Reigns is responsible for the renaissance with the WWE. Without the Tribal Chief, I don't think the company lands those billion-dollar TV deals. On the other hand, we have the second biggest star in the world, CM Punk. His star power is so strong that he legitimately brought back millions of wrestling fans to the WWE after his famous pipe bomb in 2011. He also carried AEW on his back before shocking the world one more time and returning to WWE. When two of the world's biggest names clash, it's bound to draw viewers. Another reason why fans want to see this take place is because of their history together. CM Punk was feuding with Roman Reigns during his Shield days in 2013. Things got even more complicated because of their relationship with Paul Heyman. CM Punk was a Paul Heyman guy before the Wise Men joined forces with the head of the table. And then there's the elephant in the room. CM Punk and Roman Reigns don't like each other at all. There's real life hatred between these two, and it all started 10 years ago during a podcast.
It's me versus the Shield 3-on-1. This is the most pushed three guys since like Bobby Lashley. They've pushed and protected all 3 guys, and they're like, you're going over. And I was like, okay, that's what you want. And then they stress, and they grab me and they stress, but you got to make Roman look really, really strong. And I was like, no, I was just gonna shit on him and beat him.
Yeah.
You know, I was just gonna tear through him and Superman the shit out of him and just GTS all 3 of them at the same time. You know, whatever. I was like, yeah, I get it. Okay. So while we're putting the match together, every 2 minutes somebody new is coming up to me. Hey, you got to make him look really strong. So I got so sick of Michael Hayes and everybody else coming up to me, people who aren't even involved in the match. Hey, you're making him look really strong, right? And then finally I said, you know what? You know what would make him look really strong? If they beat me. Because 3 guys can't beat 1 guy. That's f***ing dumb. But but Vince wants you to go over. Okay. But you got to make him look. God damn it! I f***ing get it. I know how to do the job. Shut the f*** up.
Those 80 seconds would have a major impact on Roman's WWE career. I don't think this was done to intentionally destroy Roman's career. It honestly sounds like Punk was just frustrated with WWE's illogical booking. He believed the best way to make the Shield look strong was to just book them to win. Then again, there could have been some jealousy in between the lines. Regardless, the fans would run with this perception, and for years they would criticize Roman and WWE's obsession with making him look strong. CM Punk essentially created the narrative that Vince McMahon and the Machine were shoving Reigns down our throats. Because of this, the big dog was a big failure who was getting booed every single week. And as for Roman, he would never forget about this incident.
You'll hear all kinds of stuff. CM Punk made the Shield. Yeah. Okay. The only thing he made was that Pepsi tattoo on his shoulder.
The hate is much deeper than just poking fun at his Pepsi tattoo. Roman truly blames Punk for making his life difficult after the release of that podcast. This is what he said about him in a recent interview.
But all the way from someone like a CM Punk, for instance, you know what I mean? Like someone who really hits home with our home audience, our hardcore fans. Like if you've watched wrestling for the past 10 to 15 years and you love it and it's like within your blood, then you probably have some kind of feelings about that guy. I know I do. You know, just by doing one of these things, he made my job a lot harder, 5-10 years ago. But if it's something that the fans can get behind and that it can really make them, sink their teeth into the product and really, dive into the creative with us, I'm willing to do it. I don't like the guy. I don't know many people that do, but I'm willing to put business first and make really good content if that's the case. But he probably had to be slapped around a few times in order to get his mind right. But if it's willing, if the fans and the audience is going to like it and be into it, then most likely I'm willing to do it.
As you can see, Roman Reigns does not like CM Punk, but that doesn't mean he won't work with him. You see, you can't be the leader of the Renaissance without understanding business and how to make the most money out of a program. The same goes with CM Punk. He might not like Roman, but he's gonna put his feelings aside in order to make money. Not only is it about their bank accounts, but they want to give the people what they want. They are aware that everyone wants to see the two square off in the middle of the ring. Reigns versus Punk is undoubtedly the money-making dream match that needs to headline WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. If WWE wants to make the biggest Mania of all time, they need to make this happen. However, we have one big problem. Burn it down!
And you're gonna have to ask him, man. I'm the one wrestling every week. He's the one who needs to show up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. I call him a coward. I meant it. He sits behind his desk and he throws his little opinions out there. Back it up, dude. Come do something about it. You're not an elderly statesman. You're 40 years old. You can still fight. Come on, let's go.
While Roman Reigns is the bigger name, we can't overlook Seth freaking Rollins and the impact this pivot would have on him. For 5 years, Rollins has been vocal about his desire to face CM Punk. This isn't just another match for him, it's a personal dream he's been chasing. And it's not just for Rollins. Fans have been waiting just as long to see this dream match finally become a reality. We actually came close to it earlier this year. Rollins and Punk were set to collide at WrestleMania 40 before Punk's tricep injury at the Royal Rumble derailed those plans. Even after that setback, the WWE kept the match on their agenda, clearly banking on the Punk versus Rollins rivalry to be a main storyline in 2025. But now, with CM Punk and Roman Reigns drawing unprecedented attention, WWE's at a crossroads. From a business standpoint, it's hard to argue against Reigns versus Punk. It's a spectacle that promises record-breaking numbers and global buzz. But is it fair to snatch away Seth Rollins' dream match, a match that's been 5 years in the making? Taking all that away from him would feel like an unforgivable blow, not just to Rollins, but also the fans who've been eagerly waiting for that match. And that's where the dilemma lies. Do you chase the bigger financial payoff, or do you honor the story that's been building for years? It's a tough decision, and honestly, I'm still torn on which direction WWE should take. That was until it hit me. Seth Rollins isn't the problem. In fact, he might just be the key to CM Punk and Roman Reigns. He's the solution because he's the shield of the WWE, both literally and figuratively. Rollins has always prided himself on being the one to protect the company's future, and he proved it when he sacrificed himself at WrestleMania 40. Taking a chair shot to the back, he set his personal ambitions aside to try and save WWE from Roman's stranglehold on the championship and the Bloodline's dominance. Rollins might be the bridge that makes the historic feud between Punk and Reigns truly come to life. Picture this: Roman Reigns defeats Gunther to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Not long after, CM Punk calls Paul Heyman to cash in his favor, a WrestleMania main event match against the Tribal Chief for the title. This is where the WWE Shield will come into play. Seth Rollins is the only one who sees the bigger picture, and he doesn't like what he sees. He envisions a part-time champion who isn't fully invested in working or giving the fans what they truly deserve. On the other hand, he sees a cancer in the locker room, someone who's jumping the line without truly earning a title shot. So, Seth Rollins takes matters into his own hands. He's determined to win the Royal Rumble to ensure that the match at WrestleMania isn't just a one-on-one. He's going to make Roman Reigns versus CM Punk a triple threat match, and in doing so, he'll protect the WWE from both of these monsters. Rollins steps in as a defender, shielding the company from Roman's part-time reign and Punk's disruptive return. This sets the stage for a massive world title match with three of the biggest names in pro wrestling, all with their own intense personal stakes. And so the road to WrestleMania will have drama between CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman. Meanwhile, Seth Rollins has a personal vendetta. He wants revenge for the chair shot he took at WrestleMania while simultaneously destroying the monster he himself helped create. And in the process, he'll face the other monster that refuses to go away. It's a classic setup for a showdown where all three men genuinely hate each other. In the end, it would only be fitting for Seth Rollins to win the match, capping off his redemption story, and then a handshake from Roman Reigns, finally bringing closure to a 10-year-long saga. And then, before the show comes to an end, CM Punk blindsides him with a GTS showing his true living colors. Like I said, it looks like we're getting that triple threat match as long as CM Punk does not sell his soul to The Rock. Somebody who did sell his soul was Dominic Mysterio to Liv Morgan. I called this out on June 7th, 2024, 2 months before SummerSlam when it actually happened. The Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and Dominic Mysterio love triangle is a lot more complicated than you would think. You see, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley have a lot of history together, and their beef didn't just start a few months ago. And I'm also starting to think that Liv isn't the villain of this story. If you want to know how we ended up here, we need to take a step back into the year of 2022. In 2022, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley were actually friends. The two ladies were a promising tag team with tons of chemistry. Everything was clicking until they kept losing matches, mainly because of Liv Morgan, and that was becoming a problem for Rhea Ripley. So she decided to betray her and fuck her up. She said she wanted to get rid of some dead weight, and that's how they went from friends to enemies in a matter of months, and things were never the same since then. Rhea Ripley then found a new group and kept beating Liv Morgan, and eventually defeating her was getting boring, so the two stayed away from each other. It wasn't until Royal Rumble in 2023 when the two would meet again. Liv and Rhea were the final two in the Rumble match, and that's when Ripley eliminated Morgan, winning the match, and that wasn't the only thing she won. She also captured the world title after this win. Rhea Ripley was living Liv's dream. Months later, they crossed paths again, and Rhea took out Liv's partner Raquel Rodriguez. Because of this, Morgan lost the women tag belts, and so the two hated each other again. Rhea Ripley then beat the shit out of Liv Morgan again, actually injuring her and putting her on the shelf for 7 months. That was the last time they would see each other in the year of 2023, and it's now 2024, and Liv Morgan wanted some revenge, and so she kickstarted her revenge tour and said this to Rhea Ripley.
Everything you love will be lost.
Liv Morgan kept her promise. After WrestleMania 40, she attacked Rhea Ripley, threw a chair at her face, and injured her shoulder. This led to Mommy relinquishing her belt on the next week on Raw, while Liv Morgan had this to say on the same night.
This isn't the end of the Liv Morgan revenge tour. No, this is just the beginning.
And that is the full history between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. As you can see, there's a lot of betrayal, a lot of hatred, and just animosity between these two ladies. However, things would get even messier now that Mommy's boy toy has been thrown into the mix, and honestly, Dominic Mysterio is the most important piece of this story. And Liv quickly realized this in her first interaction with Dominic Mysterio on April 22nd. This is the face of someone who just discovered the answer they've been looking for years. On April 29th, we then saw both of them come out of the same room, and we aren't exactly sure what happened behind those closed doors. In the next week, on May 6th, Liv Morgan posted a photo on the internet with Dom's purple bandana in her pocket that went missing on that episode of Raw. Things got a little strange on May 20th when we saw Finn Balor and Liv Morgan both get out of the same car. We still don't know where that's going to lead to, but anyways, let's get back to Dom. He even flew thousands of miles to Saudi Arabia to ensure that Liv Morgan wouldn't win Mommy's title, but he failed and actually ended up helping her win the championship and defeat Becky Lynch. I'm still on the fence about this being an accident or not, because he accidentally helped her retain the title a couple nights later in her steel cage match on Raw. Liv Morgan was so happy about this that she actually did this to Dominic Mysterio, shocking the entire world. And since then, Liv Morgan has been showing nothing but love to her new crush. This includes helping him avoid beatings, getting freaky on Raw, and obsessively stalking him on social media for hours. And while this may have started out as an elaborate plan to psychologically torture Rhea Ripley, I think that real love has developed, and I'm starting to believe Liv Morgan when she says this.
I'm not the bad guy here.
You see, she's actually now trying to save Dom from the true villain of this story, aka Rhea Ripley.
The Judgment Day on taking defeat lying down.
Oh my God, torturing Dominic in the corner. He's absolutely destroyed.
If you look back at the beginning of Mommy and Dom's relationship, you would see that this was the worst thing to happen to him. The woman was literally physically abusing him until he developed Stockholm Syndrome and got stuck in this trauma bond. Not only that, but she also manipulated him into hating his father. Rhea Ripley is the one who destroyed this happy and healthy relationship. She's the reason why he betrayed his dad, and in the end, she was happy about all of this. In order to have Dom all to herself, she needed to create the division between those two people. This is exactly what she wanted, and it worked. Dominic Mysterio fell right into her trap. She was the puppet master. However, things began to change when Rhea Ripley got injured and had to go away. Everything was different from the moment when Liv laid her eyes on him. Liv Morgan never once used hate or abuse. She's been the opposite, showing nothing but love to Dominic Mysterio. This includes making an effort to meet him backstage, protecting him from the danger, showing his bandana off to the world, and kissing him for everyone to see. It looks like she's healing him from this trauma bond with the power of love. She's breaking the spell that Rhea Ripley casted. So yeah, this seems like a love story with Liv Morgan being the hero that Dom needed. With all that being said, does Rhea Ripley deserve a second chance? I think that's a very difficult question to answer because in life, nobody, and I mean nobody, is perfect, and we all fuck up. Sometimes we actually hurt the people we love the most, but that's part of the human experience, and with that comes forgiveness. There's plenty of famous quotes about forgiveness, one of them being Mother Teresa, who said we can't truly love without learning how to forgive. You could also look into religion, fiction, or ask the next person you see. The list will go on, but the bottom line is that love is confusing. That actually might be an understatement. Let me say this instead. Love is the most complicated thing in the world that we haven't figured out yet. While Rhea Ripley made many mistakes in the beginning of this relationship, she was on the road to redemption, and it seems like she is a changed woman who truly loves Dominic Mysterio.
All right.
You got it, mommy.
Look after this one. I love you, mommy.
And it appears that the feeling is mutual after seeing Dom defend her in this interview.
Que está rica, o sea, que se ve bien.
¿Que está qué?
Que está rica, que se ve bien, o sea, con respeto, como se dice en Puerto Rico.
Con respeto.
¿Qué pasó?
De mi mami no se habla. Especialmente faltándole el respeto, diciéndole que está rica, que está buena esto y que el otro. Aquí ya terminamos.
And that is the complete story on the Liv, Dom, and Rhea love triangle so far. It's as messy and as complicated as you would have expected, and I don't know where it's going to lead to, but what I do know is that it's a tale full of lies, cheating, love, hate, betrayal, and heartbreak. And honestly, there are more questions than answers. Like, who is Dom going to choose? Is he going to forgive his mommy for everything that she's done in the past? Can we even trust Liv Morgan? What did she talk about with Finn Balor in the car? And are we going to get another ladder match with the custody of Dom on the line? I don't have the answers to these questions, but I believe we'll get them as the story continues to unfold. For now, I'm Team Liv, and I think Dom might be too. When The Rock first dropped his social media video talking about finally doing the thing he wanted to always do, I almost immediately knew that he meant he was going to come back to work his storyline with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. I posted this video 2 hours before WWE shocked everyone and announced that The Rock was returning to WWE. It looks like The Rock just dropped a major tease about his WWE return in a new video that he posted on his social media. First, let's roll the clip, and then we're gonna break down why this could be the clearest sign yet that he's coming back to WWE and he will be at WrestleMania 41.
It's a philosophy of one day as opposed to day one. There's been a thing or two in my life that it's been in the one day camp. It's kind of just been hanging out in the one day. I'll do that thing one day. I woke up this morning and I said, fuck that. Today is day one. I am on a mission to get this particular thing done.
At first glance, it looks like your typical motivational speech from The Rock encouraging people to chase their dreams. But if you dig deeper, it might actually be a massive hint at his WWE comeback. Throughout the video, The Rock repeatedly says, day one.
Day one. And you say, this is day one. This is day one that I'm going to do that thing. Today is day one. I am on a mission to get this particular thing done.
If that sounds familiar, it should, because WWE Raw's Day 1 special in 2024 is when he originally called out Roman Reigns to set up their WrestleMania 40 feud.
Should The Rock sit at the head of the table?
That obviously never happened thanks to the We Want Cody movement, but now The Rock is saying that he's finally going to do something that he always wanted to do. It gets even more interesting because right after losing his WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40 to Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns posted a video working out with the caption saying day one. So let's connect the dots. The Rock was set to challenge Roman on day 1 in 2024. Then Roman tweets day 1 after losing his title, and now The Rock is talking about his own day 1 while entering the gym. That's a lot of coincidences, or maybe it's not a coincidence at all. Then you've got The Rock doing this at WWE Bad Blood during his return, and that is the same hand gesture that was later used by Paul Heyman. If that isn't enough, The Rock also told a fan not to believe the BS reports, claiming that he won't be at WrestleMania 41. It's all adding up. There's a strong chance that The Rock is truly coming back, but the only question is, if he does come back, who is he facing at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas? Personally, I'd love to see him defeat Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. I know a lot of you guys are probably so confused and absolutely hate this idea, but it wouldn't be so terrible if he truly dedicated his time to the WWE for the next year, or at least if he defended the belt once every 2 months. Maybe he doesn't even need to defend the title at all or dedicate his time too much, because think about the nuclear heat that he would get if he essentially hijacked the WWE Championship and was also a member of the TKO board. This would be the perfect way to set up a dream match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 42. Roman Reigns would walk into WrestleMania 42 with everyone, and I mean everyone, wanting him to win the belt, while The Rock would be booed out the building. The final boss would truly be the final boss. That is a money-making story right there. But realistically, it's looking more like a bloodline civil war will happen in Las Vegas. The feud with Cody Rhodes practically ended on the first Raw on Netflix. I still hate that to this day, but it is what it is. You got to look at it this way, though. Our 2 main events would be Cody versus CM Punk versus John Cena for the WWE Championship, which is amazing. And then you also got The Rock versus Roman Reigns. This would instantly become the biggest WrestleMania of all time if The Rock really does come back. Now, some people think that this won't happen because The Rock is attached to Martin Scorsese's next film with Leonardo DiCaprio, but that movie is still in the early stages. It hasn't even locked down a production company yet. Filming, I think, is probably months away. Maybe the summer is when they'll start that, so therefore he does have time to come back. I truly believe The Rock knows that he let down the fans when he backed out of WrestleMania before, because it seems like he was definitely not going to wrestle, but now I think he's making things right, and I think he put that video out there to let people know that he is going to return. WrestleMania 41 is happening, and The Rock, I believe, will be wrestling in Las Vegas. Who knows, maybe I'm just looking into this way too much. Maybe this is nothing more than just one of your typical inspirational and motivational videos that The Rock created earlier today when he found out the news that he would be in a huge movie with Leonardo DiCaprio as well as Martin Scorsese. Who knows, maybe I'm just reaching because I desperately want to see the final boss complete his story with Roman Reigns as well as our WWE champion Cody Rhodes. I guess we have to wait to see how this plays out. Only time will tell, but the clues have never been clearer. Everyone thought I was crazy when I predicted The Rock's WWE return, but I was right. And now I have proof that I called the storyline a month ago. This is what I said last month. The Rock knew that he could not become a full-time champion, therefore he chose Cody as his corporate champ, and he fabricated this entire illusion. Sound familiar? That's because The Rock just almost said the exact same thing on SmackDown tonight.
I want you to be my champion.
I know The Rock's secret plan. This isn't some last-minute change. It's been in motion all along. Cody even dropped a hint on social media. So let's take a step back and look at my video from a month ago that exposes this entire master plan. These 5 words changed everything.
Cody Rhodes, thank you, brother.
The original plan of The Rock winning the Royal Rumble and continuing his feud with Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship have been scrapped. Dwayne Johnson will no longer be working WrestleMania 41, and that rivalry comes to an end with no final battle with the final boss. And so with the Royal Rumble coming up, we need a new winner. John Cena, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, and LA Knight have all officially entered this year's Royal Rumble, making it one of the most stacked Rumbles of all time. There are so many different stories you could tell. The possibilities are truly endless. Anyone can win it, and I think I know who's winning the Royal Rumble.
Acknowledge me!
Okay, I was wrong about Roman winning the Rumble, but this can easily be corrected with The Rock using his power to replace Damian Priest. He's gonna have to pull this move, and I'm sorry, Damian, but we gotta do what we gotta do to make Roman versus Cody happen for this story to play out. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are undeniably the two biggest stars in the wrestling world today. Over the past couple of years, they've headlined WrestleMania in unforgettable main events. Their first encounter saw the Tribal Chief assert his dominance, successfully defending the WWE Championship. A year later, Cody Rhodes earned his long-awaited rematch and made history by defeating Roman Reigns. The American Nightmare won the title for the American Dream. Since then, Cody has carried the championship with pride. But the story between these two megastars feels far from over. There's a significant portion of fans begging for one final showdown, a third match to complete this trilogy. With each man holding a victory, this would be the ultimate decider, proving once and for all who the better wrestler truly is. A rubber match like this makes perfect sense. The greatest rivalries in wrestling history, like Austin versus Rock, Flair versus Steamboat, and Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, have all culminated in an epic third encounter. To cap off such an iconic trilogy at 3 consecutive WrestleManias would not only be historic, but unprecedented. The real question is, will WWE pull the trigger and actually make this happen one more time?
Roman Reigns wants his title back.
There you have it. Roman Reigns has officially entered the Royal Rumble, and the wise men made it very clear that the Tribal Chief is going into that match with one goal in mind, and that is that he wants to reclaim his WWE Championship. With that declaration, it's hard not to believe that Roman has a strong chance of winning the Royal Rumble. The WWE would not tease a match of this magnitude without serious intent. If Reigns does emerge victorious, it sets the stage for an epic trilogy: Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes 3 at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, which could become one of the most historic matches in WWE history. The stakes would be sky high. One final clash to settle their rivalry and crown the undisputed best. And I've got the perfect way to book this match. We don't need to talk about the in-ring specifics when it comes to this match. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns have already proven that they have excellent chemistry together. Both of their previous WrestleMania matches were more than just main events, they were classics. Instead, the real story lies outside of the ropes. The man we need to talk about is Paul Heyman. I don't trust the Tribal Chief's wise men. There's something shady brewing behind the scenes. Paul Heyman is a master manipulator, someone who has always stayed relevant by aligning himself with the hottest act in the business. We've seen him betray Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Big Show, and countless others when it suited him. And now it seems that Cody Rhodes may have stolen that coveted top spot from Roman Reigns. There's even a clip going around where Heyman showers Cody with praise, specifically applauding his work ethic and dedication as the WWE champion.
Cody Rhodes is the champion. If there's anybody right now, and my God, the business that he's a commerce facilitator.
Yeah.
He sells tickets, he sells t-shirts, he sells weight belts, he sells replica title belts that he signs. He drives commerce. Cody, we need you in Detroit. We're at 98%. We really want to sell out. We're going to book you on 3 morning radio shows starting at 6 a.m. in Detroit. Great, I'll be there. If there's any others overnight, I'll do the overnight radios too. I'll do the afternoon drive time radios, and then I'll get to the arena in time for the show.
Yeah, he's a workhorse.
My God, man. And he does it on his days off too.
Look, Paul Heyman is no fool. He's a visionary who's always looking 2 steps ahead, and he knows when the tides are shifting. He sees that there's a new sheriff in town, running the island of relevance now, and Heyman might already be positioning himself for the next chapter of his career. Not only could he be working with Cody Rhodes, but there's even speculation that The Rock might be involved. That would add some logic to this moment. Imagine the scene. Roman Reigns is moments away from winning the match, but that's when Paul Heyman makes the call and the final boss appears. Before we get to The Rock's involvement with the main event, we need to take a step back to when this all began, January 1st, 2024.
Should The Rock sit at the head of the table?
The Rock called out the head of the table because after years of flops at the box office, the failure was getting to Dwayne Johnson. All of his shortcomings were happening at a time when his cousin was flourishing and leading the WWE to its most successful era. And so, the jealousy got to The Rock. He came back to professional wrestling and even became a shareholder with the company to control everything in order to successfully accomplish his one goal: destroy Roman Reigns. I'm also starting to think that he's been working with Cody Rhodes since this moment. Think about it. The Rock took Cody's main event, and then he gave it back to him a week later. The entire idea behind this so-called pivot was that Johnson wanted to give the fans what they wanted, which was seeing Cody finish his story. But this is the same guy who turned on the fans and literally does not care about the people calling them a bunch of addicts. The Rock knew that he could not become a full-time champion, therefore he chose Cody as his corporate champ, and he fabricated this entire illusion. Then things continued to go downhill for the tribal chief. His own cousin turned on him, and speaking of that cousin, Solo leaked out the fact that we've been seeing The Rock's master plan unfold for the last year. You see, everything was meticulously designed to take down Roman Reigns. This was The Rock's plan. Step 1 was becoming a TKO partner to gain power. Step 2 was finding a corporate champion he could easily control. Step 3 was turning more fans and wrestlers against Roman for Cody. Step 4 was costing him the WWE Championship. Step 5 was destroying the bloodline. And the final step is showing up to WrestleMania 41 for the grand reveal, where he screws Roman and introduces the new WWE Corporation. This would shatter Roman Reigns to his core. It's not just the betrayal itself, it's the ripple effect it creates in his world. Roman begins to question everything about the last year, and more importantly, how could The Rock, his own family, betray him? The fallout from this moment would lead to one of the most compelling stories WWE has ever told. Roman Reigns, the man who built an empire, finds himself alone with no one to trust, not even his own bloodline. What follows is the story of Roman's pursuit to destroy the corporations, and things get even more interesting when Paul Heyman recruits CM Punk, adding yet another layer of chaos to this war. One by one, Roman sets out to dismantle the corporation, and it's going to be a journey of redemption and revenge. After taking down Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Paul Heyman, there's one final challenge: the man who started it all. The Tribal Chief's ultimate test awaits at WrestleMania 42, where he steps into the ring with the final boss. For Roman, this isn't just about revenge, it's about reclaiming his throne, restoring his honor, and proving that the Tribal Chief will always rise above. Who knows, maybe I'm just looking too deep into the Roman and Rock stuff, but you never know, because this is the WWE and anything can happen.
The Rock's got your attention now, doesn't he? You pieces of...
Looks like I wasn't overthinking it after all.